So I guess we'll start this thing.
All right.
Yeah, do you want to introduce yourself first, I guess?
Yeah. Hey, Matt's audience. I'm Brandon, aka the Liquor Moose, coach of the Toronto Razor Leafs.
And what's up, guys? You got Scotty Sparks here, coach of your London Luxray. Um, yeah, so pretty much most leagues have like analysts that do this. We decided to like just take it upon ourselves since we're pretty much running the league. Um, we kind of created it. And we thought it'd just be a fun thing to just like break down each person's team and just kind of see the competition for the year. Um, Brandon actually made notes. I'm winging it.
I
Uh,
only made notes for the first five because that's all I had time to do really before
uh,
you said you wanted to start this.
yeah.
But whatever.
Uh,
I kind of have I sort of have notes for everything else. Also, I just want to say, as it's most likely that our coaches will be watching, we have something in this video called opinions.
yeah.
Um, so everything that we are going to talk about is strictly our opinion. If you don't agree with our opinion, that's totally fine because clearly you drafted a team that you feel comfortable with. So
Yeah.
all the more power to you. This is just how we are looking at it from our specific play style, basically, which could be a lot different from yours. So
And
please try not to take it
yeah,
too much to heart.
I'll add something here. Brandon, you placed first place season one and season two of this league. Um,
Of the regular
of the
season.
regular season. Playoffs weren't as fortunate as the regular season, but
No,
he's also
I
in.
would like to point out, in the first season, it was really bad. It was seventh place out of ninth in playoffs. But then, season two and season three, I got third both times.
Yeah,
So
so you def like it like that. That's proof that like you kind of have gotten the hang
I feel like
of what drafting
I feel
is.
like I am a competent draft player.
Yeah. So that being said, he's also in a league called the GPC, I believe it is. They're
Yeah,
in season
GPC
whatever, and
season
they
one.
have analysts that the analysts are part of the league, right? Like some of them are actually
Yeah.
teams.
They're just the admins like
So
us.
yeah, so they're doing what we do. We're doing right now. And they kind of had a fair amount of things to say about Brandon's team. Some negative things. So like, uh,
Oh, I don't like
yeah, no, I'm
negative.
just saying that like even we saying like we're the ones going over and just kind of having fun analyzing people's teams. That doesn't mean our teams are perfect. Doesn't mean our
Oh,
teams are good.
absolutely not.
I've made four drops already because I found
Yeah,
holes in my team.
I've made three. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's another thing. For anyone, for whatever reason, not in our league watching, we're currently in grace period right now. So
yeah.
people haven't, the teams aren't complete, and Z captains haven't completely been chosen. So that's something to
So
keep in mind when
these
we
teams
analyze.
could change a little, but the idea is we're going over what the teams are at the moment. Only a couple teams have made drops. Um, our teams, I mean, our league's kind of like a fun league. Yeah, for people not in our league that are watching, if there's any. So it's a little different than like the
Yeah,
GBA.
it's a little interesting to see some of
Yeah,
the drafting decisions, to say the
like
least.
like my favorite is Kingler got drafted like in round six last year.
Yeah,
Um, that's something I've never seen drafted in any GPC
yeah.
or any league.
I don't think I've seen Kingler drafted ever, other than there.
Yeah, a friend of mine wanted to draft Dugong. I think Dugong was dropped, but it was kind of
Yeah, I think it was drafted and then
by
dropped.
Jordan. But Jordan didn't draft.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll get to
we'll get
that.
to that. So like it's a lot of fun stuff, and the biggest thing is Celesteela was left till the sixth round. Anyone
Yeah,
in
so that's
any
great.
league that's in and that has like that's competitive. Ours is competitive, but it's like a friendly competitive. Knows that that's a top five pick,
Oh
should
yeah,
be top five at least first round. It went to the sixth round, so you can tell that this is not
yeah.
a
This is
fully
a
competitive
fun.
league.
I
It's a
think
fun league.
before this, the lowest, even you know what, even last year, it didn't get taken until the last pick of the first round.
Yeah, it's
So
because Sean wanted it, and then Sean didn't like it. But
yeah, but I mean that's his preference.
yeah,
But regardless, do you want to get into the first team because we've
yep,
kind of been rambling for a while?
yeah. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I can start.
Okay.
So, we'll go in order, obviously, on the screen. So,
So we're starting with
uh,
Steven Kapajavin.
yeah,
What
Steven
division is he
Kepka,
in?
he is in the the Steven division.
Oh, okay, so
Which
he's not in our
is
conference.
no.
That's another thing.
Yeah. So
Me and Brandon are in the same conference and the same division, the blue
yes,
division. So
yes, we're in the blue division. So Javin's division. We'll get to the other teams in it, obviously, when we get to them. But Javin's division also has Sean, coach of Elsa Craig Cutie Flies, Alex Swalinga, coach of Tilsonburg Trubbish, and Zach, coach. Is that right? Is that right?
let me check. I'm gonna write this down just so I can make comments on
Actually,
it.
wait. You're recording. I can check the.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can check the thing. Drew is the other team in his division, which
So
is
it's
coach of Gucci Gang.
yeah. So it's Javin,
So it's
Sean,
Javin, Sean, Drew,
Alex, and Drew.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyways, Javin. Good things first. His team, very clearly, like his offense is on point. Like
I mean, when you have a Lando T and a Mega Metacham, and a Cartana
and a Carton, yeah, like
and an X-Cloud.
his redundant, like you look at Landorus Theory and Mega Metacham and Cartana and think it's a little redundant, but that's really good for all of their checks. Plus, with the like potential for Lando to be Z, I highly expect his Lando to be at least Z alternate.
I feel like it has to with Z Fly being so good.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if I had to make predictions right now, I would say Lando T Cartana Z alternates and Delphox Z captain. If I had, that's just what I would do
Yeah.
if I was in Javin's shoes.
Because at least Delphox can abuse like Sunny Day and get the
Yeah,
speed
exactly.
boost, and then can use like Solar Beam and stuff. And
Yeah, exactly. And then so, other than his redundant physical threats are there, but then like his special threats are like they kind of do different things. Like Nidoking has different coverage than Delphox does, really only because Delphox gets like Psychic and Ghost, whereas Nidoking is like Poison, Ground, Bolt, Beam, Fire. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much the coverage it gets. But I'm granted that's all you really need.
Nidoking's always a really good offensive Pokemon. It's something that is not easy to switch into. Like you said,
Yeah.
Bolt Beam and Poison Ground in general. You throw a Steel type, it's got that ground coverage. You throw like a Scissor at it,
Yeah.
which resists both its stab. You got Flamethrower. You've got Thunderbolt for bulky waters. Like there's just for flying types that avoid ground. Like it's just a hard Pokemon in general to switch into.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, I gotta be honest. That's about all the good things I have to say about Javin's team. Again, opinions. So, other things to note. Javin suffers from the same issue that he had last season.
Oh, the
is
ground
he has
weakness?
he has almost no ground switches. He has Landorus, which is immune. That's it. He has,
To be fair, he's bringing Landers to a lot of matches, but I guess you're right because
yeah,
then
that's true.
if
Like, he
teams
has
want,
he has no
they could
resistance
abuse
to
that.
Yeah, he
Anyone
has
that's
no
gonna spam ground is gonna have ice coverage for Lando.
Yeah, like he's in Sean's division, and Sean has that Zygarde 10%. That's just gonna have a field day with Thousand Arrows against this team.
Even Piloswine, like he has no
true.
Piloswine switching, and Mamoswine
That's
was drafted, wasn't it? Yeah, by Squazin.
Yeah, but he's not in the conference.
Mhm.
Although to be fair, I'm not sure about Javin's out of conference games.
Yeah.
So,
Well, what number is he? Because
hang on,
if he's top in the list, right? So if Squazin's top in his
so
division,
no, he doesn't. He doesn't play him. He doesn't play him.
okay.
But still, he has to play both a Zygarde 10 and a Piloswine twice, and he
Yeah.
has no ground switching other than Landers, which does not count as an arrow switching.
Yeah.
Past that,
Yeah.
his defensive core, like he has like very limited bulk in the first place, only in like terms of bulk options. Because
Oh, I see. You mean,
Because
yeah.
while Toxapex and Blissey together seem okay, again the issue is just like the ground type is just going.
I don't see any other bulk in this team.
Yeah, no, not really.
He has Pokemon that can take a hit, like Malamar and X-Cloud, and I don't know what Bruxish does, to be honest. But I'm pretty.
Not
It's
much.
it's a fifth tier, so I'm not gonna. I mean, you pick up what you need to pick up.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's something, but it's
Yeah.
weird to see that he picked up a second Psychic type when he already had Malamar as a Tier 5 Psychic type, plus Delphox already in Tier 4.
And Mega
Um,
Magicham.
Yeah, that's true.
So his team's kind of, other than Malamar, those psychic types could be weak to Ghost Spam.
Well, I mean, he does have a Blissey on his
Yeah,
team.
Dark
It's like-
Spam then.
Yeah, that's kind of fair.
Pursuit Trapping.
Yeah, what? Yeah, Javin, watch out for pursuit trapping.
Although Mega Metacham's not gonna want to be pursuit trapped just because it's a
Yeah,
fighting,
no.
unless it's like a ghost dark type.
Yeah. Last thing to note, his team is relatively slow. He has nothing above 110.
Delphox, I
And
think, is no Kartana and Delphox are his
no,
two fastest Pokemon.
Kartana, yeah. Yeah. As
I don't
far
know. I
as
think Kartana is below 110, right?
yeah, it's 109. It's only by 1 point, but still.
Uh,
Um, and then like yeah, the rest of his team is just like slow. Like Nidoking, you have to invest a lot in speed because its natural speed isn't the greatest.
yeah.
Lando, like if you're really worried about speed, you're gonna end up scarfing Lando a lot. Obviously, it doesn't really matter for Mega Metacham because it just like blows back.
He does have some good Scarfers though, in
Yeah, he has some
Kartana,
strong
Nidoking.
scarfers. Yeah, or like if he wants to run like the speed boosting Kartana set.
Mm-hmm.
But like yeah, I don't know. Those were just the things that I noticed about
From looking at
Javin.
this team though, like Lando T, Mega Metacham, and Kartana, three very very skilled physically offensive Pokemon. Um, I am happy I'm not facing it. I'll say that
Sure.
because from what my knowledge of teams that spam a certain stat, so like have very like Mike did it last year. He had Zygarde, Landorus T, and he had Mega Mawile. You have to put so many defensive Pokemon to cover that it gets gross. And they could always switch it up because if you prep really hard for that physical, and they bring Nidoqueen or Nidoking, Delphox, Xcloud instead,
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
you're screwed.
Yeah, like I'm not doubting his offense.
Yeah,
It was just more like the bulk because like yeah, for sure. Like everyone's gonna be worried about like oh I had to stop his Landorus, his Mega Metacham, and his Kartana. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Prep for those three, and then all of a sudden his Nidoking just comes in and just
yeah,
wrecks because they're just the team's not prepped for a Nidoking.
yeah. Does he have any momentum users? Like I think Mega Metacham gets U-turn,
So
right?
he had no Mega Metacham does not get U-turn.
Then he doesn't have anything. Oh, he has Lando
No,
T.
Lando T gets U-turn.
That's it.
And I think that's it.
Like he's gonna bring Lando T to pretty much every game.
To be fair, like any regenerator mon is just a decent pivot on its own, just because just because it gains health back.
No,
When
but
you
pivoting
use
into
it
other stuff. That's what I mean.
yeah, I know what you mean. Like you're saying like U-turn and like he
Yeah,
doesn't have a volt turn core basically.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as I can see, Lando T's is only one, and
But
that's not my preferred playstyle. But if Javin's comfortable with it, then all the
mhm.
power to him.
I will say this from last year. His team was very ground weak, and it seems like he like that's kind of I'm feeling like that's his play style. He likes that kind of I like
He likes ground weak Pokemon.
yeah, but at least this year he realized that and started with Lando T. You know what I mean? So now like
I guess.
as
Yeah.
much as you are weak
So
to
yeah.
ground, you have a really good ground check in
Yeah.
it.
Unless you are going against a Zygarde, like the next team we're gonna look at.
Yeah. Do you want to skip to Sean's team now?
Yeah. Let's move. Yeah. I was trying to segue into that, Matt.
Oh,
Come on,
okay.
pay attention. So yeah.
I
Sean's
don't do
team-
segues. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That's fine. You can take this one first since I kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll start with this. So 3 seasons with Sean in this league. I know he is a pain to face. Thankfully, he is not in my division or my conference, or that I have to play him at all until the finals.
Same.
Um,
Just to point out, we did randomize those. If you
Yeah.
don't believe us, Matt did post a video on that whole process.
so fair and
He did-
square, Sean won second round pick, and because of it, he got Tapu Lele. I don't think it's as amazing as people say it is, but I know it is a threat for sure. Patch that with Mega Latios and Magnezone. He's trapping all your steel types,
Yeah, Magnezone.
and that's it.
Magnezone's the low key glue to this.
Yeah, and Embor. Embor is breaking those steel types, and Magnezone's trapping those steel types, and he's got
Yeah.
Conk now. So, like, if you look at his draft, it seems like every single piece of his draft is to either break those bulky steel types that Latios and Lele can't, trap them, get rid of them, and then if he needs to hazard stack, he hazard stacks and sweeps with Latios and Lele. Like, I will not be surprised if those two Pokemon are at the top of the kill board.
Oh yeah, like his team again. Like Sean, I know likes to play offensively.
Yeah.
And, like I mean, when you have one of the best offensive Pokemon in the game in Lele, and then complement it off with an unburdened Pokemon and like arguably the best one in Hawlucha, and then
Yo, Slurpuff, what are you talking about?
no, it's Hawlucha.
Yeah, Halish is really
Um,
good.
But like, and then you pair that off with uh, a Magnezone to trap steals, and then one of the best fighting type breakers in the game in Conkeldurr,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you have like just this team that like you cannot prep defensively for.
No. Tips for anyone facing Sean: you have to go offense. You have
Oh,
to. You
absolutely.
have to. You have to keep momentum, and you have to keep pressure on him. Make him play the defensive, because and keep your sacks, because like you need to make sure you have that momentum. And Megalodios and Lele, you cannot let them set up.
Yeah,
You cannot let a Specs Lele just rip through your team.
yeah.
And you cannot let like a D-Dance Latios destroy people. And knowing Sean in man, do you remember the league Joey was in earlier? He played two
You're
seasons.
gonna need
Poke game. He
teams.
won. He won the
Really
first
want.
one with Manaphy, and then
Yeah.
Mega Mawai, wasn't it?
What?
Oh, you're cutting out.
Maybe.
You're
Oh,
cutting out. Did you
okay.
say it?
Well, that's not good.
No, you're good now.
Did you say UCL? Or
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
did
The
you mean
UCL.
UCL?
UCL. So Mega Mogwai had Megalodios, and he ran a Psych Upset. I've been trying to fit a Psych Upset on one of my Pokemon forever because of that. Be prepared for that. So if you're running like a Combine Suicune, which is in the free agency, so no one's really running that. Be ready to get reverse swept.
All right. Yeah. Speaking of that Suicune, so Sean dropped it. It was on his team, but he ended up dropping it in the grace period, and now he has no bulky water. And in fact, if you look at his team, other than the Mega Latios and the Emboar, like the Latios I get, the Emboar not really. He has no fire switches, like at all. And I guess the Zygarde, but Zygarde definitely does not count as a fire switch.
No, you don't want that.
More, moreover to that, because he doesn't have that bulky water, he has no good Scald switching other than Conk if he runs Guts. And
Yeah.
like if he runs Iron Fist, then he obviously does not want to switch into into Scalds, which I think is just like absolutely absurd. Another thing, his
I'd say
hazard
Magnezone and
removal.
Lele are good Scald switchins because they don't really mind getting burnt, and they're bulky enough to take the hit.
I guess, and like Latios gets refreshed and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, his hazard removal is lacking. Not
Golbat and
only
Rabombi.
and like Hawlucha and I guess like Mega Latios, but you're not gonna want to run defog on Mega Latios too often.
Yeah.
But another thing on that hazard removing note, like he drafted, or like I guess he picked up a Selgor and Rabombi, both like having spike stacking and sticky web potential, and then he only has defog. He doesn't have spin.
Yeah. To be fair, I have seen videos where like that drafting with the elite, they had an offensive guy come on, and he was saying you don't want rapid spin on your team. The goal is to put pressure on your opponent, and if you're playing hyper
Yeah, I
offense,
guess.
the goal is stack and then keep the offensive. You don't want to waste a turn rapid spinning
Yeah, for sure.
because
Yeah, I
you're not
guess.
your team's not meant to live 30 turns, so you're not going to give one of those 30 turns up
To spinning
to
away
spin.
hazards. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Chimpact in the GBA this year is doing that very well. And while I don't personally really like Chimpact all that much, I have to give credit where it's due. And I mean, it got him to the finals, so good for him. And
Hmm.
yeah, obviously he knows what he's doing. Um, but yeah, that's really all I had to say about Sean's team, other than the fact that it's broken as fuck because he
Yeah.
has Lele and Latios. I'm
Steven,
just
if
gonna
you're
say,
watching, beat him. You're our only hope. Uh,
I'm just gonna say, I told everyone that Lele was broken, and I was literally the only one in the polls that voted to ban it. Let's move on. Uh,
you saw. Okay, when Sean. Okay, this year though, we're making it so that you can only keep a tier 3 or below, because there's no like I don't want people to not be
no,
able
no,
to
no, no,
use.
no. I don't agree with that. I think because Mark makes a good point. Like like whoever wins, like wins the league, so like they should be able to keep whatever they want. I actually I like Mark's idea of like with the draft lottery, instead of just automatically giving them the first round pick, just have that person decide where they want to go. And like I know your thing is like the new coaches won't know that the front or the back is the best place and the middle sucks, but then we can just tell them, hey, you want either the front or the back, don't take the middle.
I guess.
Um, I don't know. We can cut that out if you want, or you can keep
No,
it in.
that's fair. I like that. I like that idea.
No, no, I meant like in the video. Like if you want, you send the file to me and I can cut it out, unless you just don't care.
No, it's fine. I don't care.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's move on then. From
Uh,
Sean, we'll move it on to Dan.
Dan's team, Burlington. I hate Willingas. He got his Mega Beedrill sniped. This is his third year in the third season, and he's always had Mega Beedrill. Um,
And
do you
now
want to
he
start with
doesn't.
this team or?
Yeah, I'll start. So Dan, I have to give props to you. This team looks very, very solid.
He
Um,
drafted it himself too. Like normally, for someone who isn't that versed in the Pokemon world, like especially competitive, he barely plays within this league. This team is 100% him.
yeah, like this team is pretty solid, I have to say. His Z potential is phenomenal. Like he already contacted me, said that he wanted Kieran Black as a Z captain, and he gave me who he wanted as other Z alternates, but I kind of like said, hey, these would be better. So he said he would think it over. Um, but yeah, like his Z potential is just insane because he has the Kyurem, but then he also has Cobalion, he has Terrakion. I'm sure Hoopa with Z moves is good. I'm sure Darm with Z moves is okay, and Mimikyu is a good Z user as well. Like his Z potential is insane. On
Paired
top
that
of
with some good defense.
yeah, true. Like Amoonguss and Cobalion, or no, sorry, Amoonguss and Seismitoad together as like your grass water core is decent. Um, as well, this is just something I noticed. No one is clicking knockoff against Dan
No,
at all, especially if he makes Cobalion and Terrakion Z users. No one is clicking.
especially since my only knockoff user is Lickilicky. There's zero chance I'm playing with that.
True. Yeah,
I
like
don't want to get wrecked by a close combat.
yeah. Not only those, and then like he also has Mega Absol before Mega Evolution, which has Justified. No
Oh
one is
yeah,
no one is clicking knockoff on this man. Also, like Sean with his Magnezone, I think having the low tier Magneton is going to be low key really good for Dan, especially for his Mimikyu.
yeah.
Like I think just getting the Steel types out of the way for the Mimikyu to sweep in the late game is going to be very good. A couple cons.
Hazard
I did,
removal.
yeah, hazard removal is definitely lacking.
He has hazard
Um,
control, just not hazard removal.
Yeah, like he has a lot. He has a lot of good, decent stealth rockers, and yeah, actually he doesn't have any spikers.
Yeah,
Um,
Glisspod.
oh, true. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about Gliscod. Yeah. Yeah, his removal. Does he actually? I don't think he has any.
He has Mega Absol with Magic Guard.
Oh, true, with the magic bounce. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like I mean, that's a decent form of control.
But I
Um,
mean, it's the same as Mega Sableye, right? Like when you see a team with that, you second guess.
you're less inclined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
Or you play around it. Like I'll let it.
Okay. Um. But yeah. Other than that, I did say Amoonguss Seismitoad does make a good grass water pairing, but the fact that that's really his only bulk, um, makes it just seem like the bulk in like the dedicated defensive bulk's a little lacking, especially when Seismitoad doesn't get reliable recovery. Um, and then the other thing that I want to say is that other than the Mega Absol, his team is a little slow without scarfing potential. Um, like Darmanitan, Darmanitan, you're
Yeah.
gonna run Scarf a bunch, and then like Terrakion and Cobalion have decent speed tiers, but like they're not gonna be the fastest thing on the field game to game.
No. What I do like about drafting both of them is like you could bring both of them, one defensively, one offensively, and your opponent wouldn't know which one's which.
I disagree with that. I think it would be pretty clear that Cobalion would be the defensive one.
I mean, I've brought Terrakion defensively. That rock, like being a rock type, helps.
I mean, like, kind of. I mean, you're neutral to bird, but I mean
Yeah.
that's kind of what.
One sec. My cat out.
Sure. Okay.
Let's go. Yeah, sorry, I'm back.
All right. But yeah, that was really the only notes I had on Dan. If you have anything to say about his team.
Yeah. You did say the lack of health.
Like lack of reliable recovery.
Yeah, I'm not liking his priority options too. You've got
I mean,
Gliscopod and Mimikyu realistically.
Absol gets sucker punched, dude.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess. Never mind.
And then I wouldn't sleep on quick attack on Terrakion either.
Ah,
Like I mean, I get it's not stab, but I mean like at least it's
yeah,
something, especially for either a sweeper or like a breaker.
yeah. Especially for Sash users.
Yeah, that kind of crap too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I really had to say about Dan. Do you want to move on unless you have something else to say?
Um, he does. No, he doesn't have to face Zygarde, does he? I
Dan,
just don't like
yeah,
Gliscopod. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it just because I'm looking at his team and the only thing he wants to really switch in on like an Earthquake is Gliscopod. It's the only thing
yeah,
that resists, and like if you're not faster than that Earthquake, there's no way you're
yeah,
taking less than
that's
50% off two,
yeah.
and you get forced out.
He is in the same conference as Sean, so he will have to face the dog
Yeah,
once at least.
and maybe Mike once depending.
I don't
But
think
I
so.
mean, Gliscopod's very bulky, so like I'm sure you could
Yeah,
live
sure.
too. I mean, I just don't like Gliscopod's ability.
Yeah, I think when Emergency Exit got released, everyone was everyone was interested and it seemed cool, and then they played with it and realized just how underwhelming it
Yeah,
was.
because like I played season 2 against Liam, and like Quick Attack Mega Pinsir was able to, I wasn't able to kill it. It was gonna outspeed me. All I had to do was just hit it, and then I just got forced out.
Yeah,
And then like it'd come back in on rocks and take 25%.
yeah, no, I agree with that.
But I mean,
I think
for a tier five,
yeah,
something that's bulky and can spike up.
that's the thing. E- Something bad has to get taken into your five, realistically. Like
I disagree. There's some good
okay,
options.
not bad, but like everyone has to take a tier five, and
Yeah.
realistically, there's not too many insane tier fives.
Realistically, you're probably taking two tier fives too. So one of the two are going to be
Yeah,
pretty ass.
yeah, exactly.
Speaking
But yeah,
of good tier fives, I'd say Squazin's got a decent pull for his.
yeah, I would say that. Nice segue.
Thanks. I
uh,
try. But that's gonna just bring me to a topic like tier five. When I saw it, I found fast electrics or electrics in general was like in abundance. So like
yeah, for sure.
that was a really good idea for teams if they were thinking I could grab good stuff in other spots and just get a tier five electric.
Yo, Matt, you hang on, I got it.
But oh, did I fuck up my
Your
name?
Not your name, but you fucked up Lucario in your team.
Cat, my bad.
No, that's fine. I fixed it for you.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, I can see where you're going with that electric thing.
Yeah.
However, I
His team looks threatening.
uh, yeah, like I mean, it's another offensive team. Like
Yeah.
it seems like that squad, like Javin, Matt, and Mike, they just seem to like to
Play offensive.
play offense.
A thing I'm gonna
Yeah,
note here, Hydreigon, Dark Stab, Sharpedo, Dark Stab, Chandelure, Ghost Stab, which is pretty much Dark Stab. Just doesn't hit Ghost types.
it doesn't have
Raichu,
normal
Alolan
types.
Raichu, Psychic Stab, Megalotti, Psychic Stab, Metagross, Psychic Stab. He's got a lot of offensive Pokemon that are sharing,
Redundant.
that are redundant.
Yeah, his team is extremely weird for an offensive team. Like, okay, so first off, I don't really see the point of grabbing both Alolan Raichu and Electivire, especially when, like, unless you're gonna manually set electric terrain. Like Alolan Raichu, I don't know how much it does for him.
Well,
Um,
Megalotti, sorry, like Megalotti's also a psychic type. Same with Metagross, so he doesn't need the psychic typing.
yeah, exactly. And if he was planning on grabbing Electivire as his electric type, then like, I'm not really sure what Alolan Raichu
Yeah,
is doing here.
like I can see him dropping a lone Raichu in the future for something to fill his team out more.
Yeah,
I can also see him. Oh, his only water type's Sharpedo, and that's not something that's bulky.
yeah.
Not something that
Like
wants to be burned either.
Yeah, his team's not gonna appreciate Scald Switchins either, really that much.
You could run a special
Actually,
Sharpedo.
does he? Other than that Sharpedo, yeah, like that's true. But like, okay, so he has Hydreigon to resist and Latios to resist, and I get okay Virizion, but like sometimes that's a physical attacker.
Yeah.
Um, Gigalith with no Sand Sweeper. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
He
like
might. It might have been like he needed a rocker. Like it could have been as simple as that.
I guess, yeah.
Because Mamo
Like,
is not. Mamo has rocks. That's not someone you're gonna want to be your rocker the entire time, unless you're going with a sash lead.
I guess, and like I guess it's an okay answer to burst spam, but like at the same time, he also already had Metagross at the time, which do both of those things.
One thing I'm going to talk about though is with Volcarona. I know that was his last pickup. You're gonna want some pretty good hazard removal. Megalotti and Hydreigon are two Pokemon you do not want to rely on
Yeah, no,
as
you do
hazard
not want to run
removal.
defog on really either of those.
Megalotti, you want to be more offensive. I ran it pretty bad this season or last season, and I ran majority defensive because I needed it for my team more. I think, but
Yeah,
overall, like you're gonna run if you're gonna want to run like Calm Mind, Stored Power, Recover, and then something
like,
else.
Megalodios wants to be a bulky offense Pokemon.
Yeah, Hydreigon. If you're, I've seen it run defog a lot, and it's mainly like Scarf users or stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, like Scarf defog is okay.
Yeah.
It's not your number one option. But
No,
yeah.
it's like a fail safe. It's like, oh man, I need these gone.
Yeah, so his team is relatively slow without setup. I will give him that he does have decent speed control with the priority that he has with both the Mamoswine, the Metagross, and then also the speed boosting from Sharpedo.
Yeah.
So like that's not necessarily going to be an issue, but I mean that's just maybe my personal preference for seeing a little more natural speed.
Yeah.
However, I will say like dragon spam is a legitimate thing, and he has two of like the best dragons in the format. One of which usually gets banned in most leagues, and then just slap High Dragon on top of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really the only notes that I have. It's a good offensive team with what seems to be redundant sets, but like, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he thinks it's gonna fit his playstyle. So I don't know. I'm done unless you're not done.
There was something I wanted to say. Mock Punch is something he's gonna have to worry about. Like,
Well, I mean,
I conk rips through this team.
I guess. Like, I mean, he does have a Mega Latios.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, Ice Punch.
pockets of
Yeah.
Ice Punch, but I mean, you can Mega Latios can. I'm sure you can bulk it out to the point where
Yeah.
Ice Punch isn't too hit KOing, and then at that point you can roost up.
I just feel like, this is the kind of like a worry that I had in my team is that if it comes down to the point, just like teams just slapping on priority, in this case Mock Punch, and then if I lose one or two things, I just die.
Yeah, I guess.
Because like if he like realistically, if he loses like if his Mock Punch switches for a match or like Chandelure, and then it dies somehow, he brought Mamo Sharpedo, like he can't offensively win because like a banded Mock Punch will just sweep the rest of his team.
Yeah, that's fair. Because yeah, Volcarona's not taking Mock Punches. Like it
No.
does resist, but like Volcarona's physical defense is pretty bad.
Yeah, I do like Volcarona. Like that is something I really want to try one day. The hazard removal
but,
scares me, but
slow clap for the other Matt because he did draft Volcarona, and that's something a lot of people are scared to do. So props to him for that. I will say. But yeah. Also another thing, like before we move on, his Z potential is also very good.
yeah.
Like
And
Volcarona,
Virizion,
Hydreigon, enough.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Virizion, Hydreigon, Volcarona.
Yeah, that's a really good. That's really good Z. Plus, like you still have a Chandelure, and like I'm sure like those fast electrics. Well, like those electric types that he has as well. I'm sure are decent Z users for like the low tier Pokemon that they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Where's this? Oh, he has no. Never mind. He has Virizion. Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, let's move on to Jordan, coach of the Purdy Primates. So, Jordan is also in our division.
He is.
So
Ooh.
yeah,
So
so Matt and I will have to
disclaimer:
face this team twice.
he didn't have time to prep for his draft. Um, I'm gonna air quote that because he said his exams ended Monday and the draft was Friday.
Well, I
Um,
think unless I'm mistaken, he was in college right now, university, so he would have been pushed back from the strike.
oh, true. Okay. From the way he was saying it, it sounded like he had like 3 days to.
Well, I wouldn't doubt if that was like legitimately true, only because like yeah, like if he was in college, then his exams would have been pushed back because of the strike, and then
Yeah.
plus like you were because of the ice storm you guys had. But like
Yeah.
I don't know where Jordan goes to school to be fair.
Yeah. I guess to be
So
fair, I my one exam was easy, so I didn't study until the day of, or day, yeah, actually day of. I woke up
yeah,
at like 10 and studied till like 1 and then what left for my exam.
yeah.
Two.
All right.
But
Well, all right. Yeah, let's not talk about school. Let's talk about his
yeah.
team.
Okay,
So
but his
yeah.
team, Victini, something
Well,
that
hang
didn't
on.
get drafted.
We should
Sorry.
say yeah. We should say he
Oh
because of
yeah.
the whole like lack of prep, he literally just rolled dice to decide what he was drafting. So his team was drafted completely random. However, since we did start the grace period, he did make a bunch of changes. So I assumed he picked up stuff that he probably would have drafted instead, like in the stead of the other stuff that he did end up drafting.
Yeah.
So if you want, you can take this one.
Yeah, sure. I'll go with likes. Scolipede is something that I hate dealing with. I don't use it because it's one of those Pokemon that I just. It's like Zoroark. It's something that I'm sure is good. Something that if I learned to use, it would be good. But it's something I just don't like, and because of that, I don't like facing it. So that's a good thing on his side. It's
Yeah,
one of those Pokemon that are hard to deal with.
Like Scolipede actually is. I'm pretty sure this is the first time in our league that
Yeah.
Scolopede's drafted. Yeah,
There's no
Scolipede.
baton passing, or else that's why it's tier two.
Yeah,
But
it's drive. We can only drive baton
yeah,
pass.
because it's in our division, we face it twice, and I'm lucky to have a Skirmy. I'll say that.
True. I guess. I mean, I have a fortress, so it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, but Victini, Umbreon, Dusclops, Azu slash Feraligatr, Sylveon, all those Pokemon are stuff that I really like. Stuff that I would really consider drafting myself. Dusclops is really cool. Just Dusknoir, I think, would be the one I'd draft first, just because you get an item. But Dusclops is a lot bulkier, and I think Dusknoir is a tier up. But
Yeah.
Dusclops is going to be a really cool Pokemon to see used in this league. Um, we have Baton Pass legal, right? It's just you can't
Yeah, it's
pass
only drive
stats.
baton passing.
Yeah.
So like,
So
so for
Umbreon's really
example,
good.
his Umbreon and his Sylveon, which with Alamamala, that forms a ridiculous switch passing core. That
Yeah.
of which his Mega Steelix is going to very much appreciate.
Yeah,
Like
that
that's gonna
this looks
since
like
that's
this
gonna
looks like a
be
team you do not want to. You want to
bring
break
your,
through. You want to bring you
your
want to
bulk,
bring
bring
nukes.
your bulk breakers. Yeah, bring your
Yeah.
bulk breakers. Um, some things I don't really like. Well, actually, first off, like he does have some bulk. His team is also extremely offensively, like threatening because the Victini could be anything. The Scolipede is hard to deal with unless you have like pretty much specific Pokemon,
Yeah.
or like can try to try to make it so it doesn't get out of control with the speed boost. Azu's hard to switch into. For Alligator, you can't let set up, and if you predict, like, if you're not expecting the choice spec set on Sylveon, it's going to like bother.
Yeah.
Things I don't like. This team is super slow, other than that Scolipede. Like super slow.
Yeah.
Um,
And he doesn't have the
like,
priority to match it.
yeah, no. Like he has Scolipede at 112, Victini at 100, but then after that, unless I'm mistaken, I think the drop is to Venusaur at 80, and then it just
Maybe
gets
for
slower.
alligator, who knows?
And
But I
no,
see what you
think
mean,
it's
like-
like 79 or something. Or no,
Oh,
maybe it's a
okay.
little bit above 80. I don't remember.
But yeah,
um,
like this is a team you can run modest or adamant against,
Yeah,
and even like your 100 base speed Pokemon can run that,
yeah. If you don't
or
want to risk
105, your
that.
110s.
Yeah. I am not sure. Like he did actually draft Azumarill, and then he picked up for Alligator and Sylveon and Grace. So I'm not really sure what the redundancy is there
Well,
for.
I'll say Azu is not a bulky fairy, so if he wanted Sylveon for the bulky fairy,
I
um,
guess. But like then at the same time, like you already have a water type breaker. Why pick up for alligator? I'm just
My
not
opinion is that's either going to be really good for his team or really bad, because um, it's only going to be really good if he decides to bring both to a match. Because realistically, uh,
yeah, like his water
you
type
can check
basically has to
both
deal the same
with the same Pokemon.
weapons. Yeah,
But if you bring both, and your opponent only has the one check,
one Pokemon to check both. Yeah, I get
you're
it.
gonna pressure the one's gonna pressure it, gonna knock it out, and then now you don't have a check for the second one.
Yeah. All I want to say about his offense is that like I really hope he runs like a myriad of different Victini sets. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, just running V Crate on every week is fine and dandy and stuff, but like, if he gets creative with the Victini sets, I think, like, he doesn't have to get creative, like, like he doesn't have to run like defensive Victini and stuff like that. If he just gets like offensively creative with the Victini, I think it's gonna shine for him.
yeah,
Like, mostly like Mixtini, I guess. Like, combine that with the Scolipede, and I think
yeah.
he just has a very offensively threatening team. Those are the only like serious notes I have. Um, kind of a
Yeah.
joke note. I am really sad that he decided to drop Tyranitar
Yeah.
and not pair Mega Steelix with the Sand. Like that's the thing. Like if he was gonna pick up Feraligatr and Sylveon, like you would have thought he would have dropped a Azumarill for the Victini, especially because
Yeah,
Tyranitar can pursuit trap the Ghost types that want to try to revenge Victini.
yeah, I agree.
I don't know. That's just my 2 cents, but I'm sure Jordan's doing what he wants to do, so I'm fine with that. A little confused. The only other specific Pokemon I'm a little confused about the Venusaur without Sun, unless there was like no other good grass types in Tier 3.
I don't think. Yeah, I guess, but I mean, that was a. So my thought process is that was one of the random picks, right?
Yeah.
So there was Lurantis in tier 4, and there was some good there was like Gorgeist in tier 4 or 5, and I'm pretty sure like stuff like Meganium, and there was some bulky grass types you could have lived with instead of Venusaur that
Well,
didn't that weren't
like,
neutral to ground.
I get it, but like at the same time, like because his team was random, like that was his second round pick.
Yeah.
Like he had, like it wasn't like he took that late, and I get it was random, but still,
hmm
I don't know.
Maybe in his drop period, you'll see him pick up a better grass in a lower tier.
Yeah.
Or
I think
Torkoal.
Lurantis is just better than Venusaur without Sun.
Because there's
Venusaur's obviously better.
probably a good water type. That I mean, you already have two water types. So you could probably drop a Alomomola, or drop.
Yeah, sure,
You could probably drop. What he could probably drop like Azumarill for Primarina. That would give him the bulky water type, so he can drop a Alomomola, for Lurantis, and then he would have.
You'd have some points left over.
Yeah, he could pick. He could drop something
he would
else.
he could, yeah.
He could probably drop Sylveon or Feraligatr.
He could turn that Hitmonchan into a tier 3 Pokemon.
That's it. Yeah, I'm sure there's some
Because,
good.
yeah,
I'm sure there's some
that's
good
just
tier
one other
3s.
thing. Like his only hazard remover is Hitmonchan, and
Yeah.
Hitmonchan is, like not a good Pokemon. I'm
Like
sorry.
this is a team I see. I see Savali Ghost coming to.
Yeah.
Like they just flat out like, I'm gonna like, I mean like there's not much he can do. Like I'm just gonna bring hazards and then he's gonna try, but Pokemon like Umbreon and Alomomola don't appreciate spikes.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't
Right.
appreciate toxic spikes either, and like Scolipede is something that you can work around Scolipede if he's gonna absorb the toxic spikes. There's Pokemon I can like at least in my team that I can switch into that.
Yeah. I think we should move on. Only like, I don't know if you've been checking how long we've been going for, but we've been going for a while. So
okay. What time is it?
if this isn't, like I think our call. I know we didn't start right at the call, but our call is like close to 50 minutes.
Oh yeah, it says 44 minutes on the recorder. Great.
Yeah. So yeah, people watching, bear with us. It's gonna be a long video.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
BC Blissies?
Yeah. So Alex Turner, relatively new to Pokemon, like competitive wise. Disclaimer: I helped her prep a lot for this draft, so like, I kind of like this isn't my team, so I still have some opinions on it. but I did help her prep a lot for this. Um, so, and also this is where my notes stop, so I'm gonna be like winging it like you are as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Um, so,
Do you
her
want me to start
team.
since you helped? I can throw out
Yeah,
my two
actually,
cents.
actually, yeah, that's probably better.
Oh, okay. So the Rotom, I'm gonna start with the Rotom because
Okay.
I feel like the Rotoms are overlooked, especially in this league. So props on her for grabbing that. Like,
I thought you were gonna bash that pick.
no, I was debating drafting Rotom Ghost just because it'd be cool spin blocker and it'd be an electric that type that
Yeah.
I could get Volt momentum
Actually,
off
yeah,
of.
like yeah, on that
Um,
Rotom pick, on that Rotom, like on the Rotom topic, like yeah, last season was the first time that anything that another one besides Rotom Wash got drafted.
yeah, and the only reason that it wasn't me
Mo
drafting
got
it,
drafted last.
no, is Rotom Heat.
No, yeah, like
By Steven, and I had
yeah,
that. My
Steven got
my defensive core was Jellicent, Rotom Heat, and something else. Chestnut, I think, was my grass type.
uh
And Mark gives me a Alolan Marowak,
yeah,
and I'm
so
like,
no
well,
Rotom
so
Heat.
that I don't want Jellicent, I don't want Rotom Heat, and then I kept Chestnut, but
Yeah.
um,
But yeah, like Rotom Heat saw some solid play, but Rotom Mo got drafted last season too, but then dropped before week 1. So
oh,
I mean, yeah, Sean
but
drafted it, but then dropped before
oh,
week
okay, yeah. It gets defog now, really good, and it's gonna invite in those fire types. I'm pretty sure that you can volt switch into Manaphy. It's not going to drop in those or invite in those ground types, being it's part grass. So you're pretty free to click volt switch when you have Rotom out. Hopefully Turner goes into Manaphy at that point and proceeds to do stuff with that. But
Yeah, for sure.
Manaphy Entei Rotom is a really good, in my opinion, that seems like a really good Fire Water Grass core.
I agree.
I like Crook. Alolan Muck is something that I like. I don't think I would ever draft it. It just seems like too popular for me to draft. Um,
I know
yeah,
exactly what you mean. That's such a weird sentence, but I know
yeah.
exactly what you mean.
I really like Garchomp. It's gonna Garchomp and Crook together. A little similar of roles, but they're different enough that I can see them both being on the same team. Um, I I know her in the sense that she's a big fan of Miltank and Steelix, so I see why Steelix is drafted. Doesn't really isn't really needed when you've got Garchomp and Crocodile, other
Yeah.
than being a Steel type. So if she's bringing Steelix, it's
Sure, yeah.
because you have a Fairy type. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of Staraptor, so the fact that she picked up a Fairy type in Mega Dino so that she could afford Staraptor, I'll give her props for that. Overall, I don't think there's anything like I like the team. It's going to come down to does she feel comfortable enough to do well with it.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Um,
I didn't even talk about Reuniclus. Man,
yeah, like
hard
Reuniclus.
body.
Yeah, it was just it was just one of those things. I don't remember why I helped her plan with that. I think it was just because we were just strictly missing the psychic type, and
Yeah.
Reuniclus was there.
And I'm gonna say this about my team not having a psychic type. When I'm team building, I've started team building for my week 1 at least, and lacking a psychic type is it's not something you need, but it's something you notice when it's not there.
Oh, true. Yeah, yeah, that I can see that. But at the same time, you do have Savali. Like I know Savali's psychic isn't like a common type,
Yeah.
but like I mean, if you like you
In
say
a
like
pinch, it's something you can use.
yeah, in a pinch you can make Savali your type. But
Yeah.
that's we'll get to your team when we get to your team.
Yeah.
So like my thoughts post Alex drafting it. Um, Again, it's a very like it's a very now meta draft format team. Like it seems to me that lately a lot of just draft format is just bulky offense, and this is a very bulky offense team
Mm-hmm.
with a Mega Autono on it and a Miltank, I guess. Um,
Get that wish support and those rocks.
oh yeah, like I think Mega Autono is a slept like as a balanced player myself. I think Mega Autono is like a slept on Mega. I
Especially
think
if it's giving you 80 free points.
yeah,
Turning
exactly.
turning a tier 5 into a tier 2
Yeah, that's
for a
insane.
fairy type that people sleep on. I mean,
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like its defensive typing is actually really good. It's immune to Ghost and resists Dark, which are both two types that are extremely hard to switch into. and on top of that, it's going to be carrying a Megastone, so knockoff is doing literally nothing to it.
Plus,
Um,
being fairy type, it resists. It's neutral to fighting, something that normal types are weak to.
yeah, that's true.
It still is only weak to steel and
Steel and
poison.
poison, which Steelix has covered. Like,
Yeah,
easy.
but you know what I mean. Like fairy normal is. I just like the synergy because they're only weak to three moves in general:
Yeah,
fighting, poison, steel. Is
yeah.
fairy weak to anything else? It's only the two types.
No, it's just those two.
Yeah, so like, and then being a fairy type, you take away one of your weaknesses. So like,
Yeah.
it's one of the dual typings that don't. Usually, dual typings hurt defensively more than they help, and this one helps.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So Alex's team really threatening offensively. Some cons. Um, Admittedly, her hazard removal not the greatest.
Rotom
Having
Mo,
only Rotom Mow and Star Raptor, sorry.
something you can take
Uh,
advantage, like easily take advantage of.
yeah, like in hindsight, maybe prioritizing a rapid spinner, like a good rapid spinner, would be better, especially when she has an Entei on her team. Although to her and a Star Raptor, like to her credit, her only hazard weak Pokemon are that Entei and the Star Raptor, and
Yeah.
then her rocks resistances are the Crook, the Steelix, and the Garchomp. And then
Mhm.
if Reuniclus has Magikarp.
Yeah.
Another thing about her team, it is quite slow, and that was honestly just something I overlooked when I helped her draft. Her team is quite slow, but that also comes with the fact of like bulky offense teams are going to be
Yeah.
like that.
And speed's something you can kind of get away with, especially if you have good scarfers.
Yeah,
And
yeah. To
she
be fair,
definitely
like,
does.
she
Yeah.
has like four Pokemon that you can clearly see have like viable Scarf options.
And Bandit Entei's got some priority that does not want to be
Yeah,
switched into.
yeah, plus E speed. So I think the speed thing she can get around, but
Hmm.
like overall, I mean,
Speed's
I
like
can't.
if I'm gonna be missing something on a team, speed is one of the things I'll be more inclined to give up. There's things that are worse than not having good speed tiers.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, that's Alex's team. I mean, I'm inclined to say that I like it because I helped her draft a lot. But I
Mhm.
mean, yeah. Shall we move on?
Yep, this is a team that I helped prep.
Hey,
So you
look at
can
that.
start, but I'm gonna go into the guy, like the coach, Drew, a friend of mine, a neighbor of mine. Um, he hasn't really known Pokemon since like Gen 3, Gen 4. So like the fact that he's drafted Pokemon outside of what he knows, good on him. I did no, these are actually Pokemon he wanted, so he looked like you looked it up. Um, but overall, he's a very new coach, and you can go from there.
All right. So yeah, like you said, he's new. Um, I will say like Rain is one of the best. Rain is one of the best styles of play to introduce new players to, just in general. It's like very clear what you want to draft, so the drafting portion is easier. It makes team building easier because like you know you're gonna have your rain setters and your rain sweepers, and then hopefully that makes battling easy. But I mean, a lot of battling comes with experience.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, that can just happen when he gets used to his team. You did say when he drafted he wanted the dual sand core, and he got a good one. Like
Well,
I
we were
know,
talking about it, and he wanted to go. He wanted to go. We were talking a bit, and after half an hour, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do rain." And then I was telling him about all the other types, and he's like, "Oh, could I like?" And I was like, you probably could do like two types." And then he's like, "Oh, that'd be really sweet." And I'm like, "But like these Pokemon are pretty high priority, so like the
yeah,
odds of you getting them aren't the
yeah,
highest."
yeah. Like the pieces to the sand cores are always like they're the ones that are sought after. Like those are the Pokemon that are sought after for non-weather teams.
Yeah, actually.
Like
Oh
like
man.
Excadrill can fit in non-sand teams. Hippo and Tyranitar can debatably fit into like
Yeah.
those two
I'll say
better
this:
fit into.
Excadrill, after using it, is a round one pick.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
like it should
It
be
just
picked first
provides
round.
so much. It provides so much. Even to a non-sand team, it provides just so
Mhm.
much. But yeah.
The
Again,
fact that
like
it
you
dropped
said,
to round 10,
oh, true. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like
like
you
at
were
one
saying,
point I
like
saw it on the board and I almost debated picking it up.
I don't think I had the points to do that.
That's
So
yeah, me
I
too.
I can't.
I already had the typing. I didn't have the points for it. I'm like, but I want it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, once again we see another rain team that has a Mega Scissor on it, and obviously we know that's gonna be all well. Um, I think no. Last season, Tornadus T was on the rain team. Um,
I will
but
say
yeah,
this: I did send a message to Drew because his original plan was Kingdra over Ludicolo. Um, but then he said that he wanted to keep Ludicolo because it has Thunder Punch and King. But then I told him Kingdra has HP Electric. So
everything is HP Electric.
yeah, but he didn't know the hidden powers. So
Okay.
he might make a drop, and it's going to
Yeah.
involve dropping Tornadus T into Tornadus I to free points up because Tornadus I is a tier 2,
Oh yeah, true.
so that he can
Oh, so
afford Kingdra.
then Excadrill would move up to his like.
Yeah, so Excadrill would move up to his tier 1.
Yeah. I see what you're
He'd have
saying.
60 free points, and then he'd drop Ludicolo, making Flygon bump up to his tier 4, and he'd have 120 free points, which he could drop into Kingdra.
Oh, okay.
That is if
Yes.
he wants Kingdra over Ludicolo. Which either way, like Torn T and Ludicolo is just as good as Kingdra Tornai.
Okay. Um, something that I don't like about this team. I am not really sure what the Ferrothorn is doing here. I
That's
get
and from what I know, it's something he saw and he wanted.
like you don't need Ferrothorn. Like I get its range, but you don't need Ferrothorn when you have Mega Scissor. They obviously do different things, but the typing is way too similar. Like the fact that they both have
Yeah,
4 times weakness to fire, and I guess he has a 4 times resistant Kabutops, but I mean Kabutops is frail as fuck. Um,
yeah.
granted,
And if it's a
Hippo,
flamethrower, you still
Hippos,
risk a burn that you don't
yeah,
want.
yeah, and then like granted, Hippo can switch in relatively easily and like slack off and whatever, but like I don't know, I just don't think they're needed. They obviously serve different roles, but the typing I think is way too similar for the two to
Mhm.
be together. Magmortar I like as a low budget or as like a low tier fire type. I think it's really good.
Get that Z
Um,
belly drum.
oh yeah. Oh true. Yeah. You know what? We didn't even mention the potential for Z for the last 2 teams, but yeah. In case you haven't seen, I'll actually edit it on the doc because Alex is her Z users.
My bad.
So she had Manaphy as her Z captain, and um, then I believe Garchomp and Rotom-Mow was as the alternates. I know Rotom-Mow was definitely one. Let me check about the Garchomp.
Well, we can go back quick. I can see Scolipede
Yeah,
being
it's
a Z
Garchomp.
user. Victini probably is going to be a Z user. And then other than, I guess Azu is probably going to be the Z captain just so I can run the Z belly drum. But other than that, he's kind of forced into those three.
Yeah, I think like Z Scolipede is like without speed passing allowed, like Z Scolipede is like the only reason to keep it in tier 1 even though we dropped it down. Like that's like the
Yeah.
one justification to keep it in tier 1 is because of Z potential. Because
Victini
the
is almost a
coverage is
must.
actually like really good. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Victini's
And going
and
to
then
Turner, like
yeah, I think
Z
she
Manaphy,
made the
like
right choices.
Captain
She
Rain
made the right
Dance,
choices.
yeah, obviously. Entei is something you're probably not going to want to waste a crystal on. You're probably going to
Yeah,
like
no,
you
want a
want
band
banded
on it.
usually, just because it's mainly going to click a fire move or extreme speed. You could
Yeah.
make Crook, but Crook gets more utility out of other options. Same with the Golden Muck. She's really forced either to have Staraptor, it's like her free slots are the ones you like that are
Yeah.
most likely going to be it.
Yeah, overall, I think
Reuniclus,
she made the right
yeah.
choices, I think.
Reuniclus benefits better from leftovers. Staraptor benefits better from choice items, um, especially Scarf being a U-turner.
Yeah, yeah, she definitely. I think she definitely made the right
Yeah.
choices. All right, but yeah, so with Drew,
Probably
like I said,
Kabutops as one. I can see Excadrill being
probably
one.
if he ends up keeping, well, actually, regardless, whichever Tornadus he does end up with, I think one of those is going to be a good Z user.
Yeah.
Um,
Torn Eye over Torn T though. Like if it's Torn
both,
Eye, definitely.
both,
Torn T
both.
less likely, but
I don't know about that. Its coverage is still good enough.
mhm.
Like I just recently had to prep for one in GPC, and it was actually a pain with Z moves because it's just like it's not OHKOing things with Z moves, but it does enough to get like a bunch, like to get 2-hit KOs.
And that way
Which is
you could run Z
annoying.
Torn with Hurricane on a sand team
Yeah, that too. That's like
and not worry about
I'll,
that miss.
yeah, I'll agree with that. But yeah, so those were like my notes about Drew's team.
Yeah.
I think Rain is a good.
Yeah, like you said, it's a good way
I'll
to
reiterate,
introduce him.
it's a good way to introduce.
Not just that, it's gonna give him knowledge as to what other people picked and what like same with Dan. Like after his first season, Dan second season just drafted things that he hated facing, and
Yeah,
then third season he's getting the knowledge as to what the teams have.
yeah, and what parts of teams like
Yeah,
what parts do you need to make a full team? Yeah, for sure. All right, but yeah, do you have anything more to say about Drew's team?
nah, I like it. I like it for like, especially for a new player. It seems like a good team to introduce him to.
All right, so we'll move on then to Josh, who coaches some
Josh.
guy. So this is a team that actually one of the other admins, Mark, helped draft.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, so it's obviously trash.
yeah, no, no. Mark, somewhat knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
uh, we'll get to Mark's team later. But
Yeah.
yeah, so with Josh's
Side
team,
note though, when he kept saying "scarf darm" in our group chat, I was about to lose it.
I know he was like, I think
I snapped at him.
he told me,
I was like, dude.
shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, other than like the four admins, no one will get that, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so uh, Josh only drafted part of his team,
Hmm.
and then I guess he had to go.
To be
It was like a
fair,
last minute thing. He had to
he
help move.
he said he would send Mark a list of what he wanted, and
Yeah.
then he ended up posting that into the group chat, so everyone
Yeah,
saw
so
the picks he wanted.
Everyone was like, "Well, time to snipe."
Yeah,
boys."
and then Javin's like, "Yo, time to snipe, boys."
But yeah, so Mark went with the list that he got, but made proper adjustments
Yeah.
if he felt needed, and I think he did an okay job. So Greninja Battle Bond, that shit's broke as fuck.
Hmm.
Like even in leagues that allow like S tier Pokemon, they normally only allow Protean Greninja. Like Battle
Yeah.
Bond is usually banned from those leagues, and we're allowing it here. Like
Yeah.
Battle Bond Greninja, it's too fast and hits way too hard. Just
Yeah.
straight up. Yeah, his team is quite fast because like he has that Greninja, he has Alakazam, he has Aerodactyl, he has Mega Manectric, and then somehow Mark found Celesteela in there
Yeah.
in the 6th round. So he has a fast team with just this fat mon as like to just top it all off.
Mm.
Mudsdale's ground type is good. Obviously, like I really like Mudsdale. His rockers, I guess now that Mudsdale got rocks, it's better. Plus he has like Arcanine and Celebi is a decent rocker. He has a good Volturn core with Greninja, Celebi, Mega Manectric. It looks like actually a pretty decent team. It's just whether Josh can like
Yeah.
put together some wins. Because spoilers, Josh is also new to Pokemon.
Yeah.
Um, the combustion the combustion pick is spicy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll want to change that to like a real fire type.
He has Arcanine though, but
Oh, true. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
I changed it to a more. It's more of his fighting type, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
Okay, I would.
I
change
switched it to Girder or something. Probably doesn't know what Girder is, being he's new, but
Yeah, I guess.
because Girder is one of those Pokemon that unless you're like delved into Pokemon, you don't recognize how useful it could be.
Girder is very good.
Yeah.
It's low-key very good.
But this is actually my out of conference match. This is the team that I'm facing week 1, so this is the team I've looked at the most.
Yeah, I guess you
Of all the
probably have
teams.
a lot better opinions of it
So,
than I do.
Without spoiling my team for him, because I do have a team for him, my breakdown of his team is it's very, and this is going like I'm gonna break down what probably I'm gonna capitalize on with this team is it's very priority weak, especially on the physical side. Mach Punch for
Yeah.
Greninja and Cryogonal. Alakazam something that's very weak to priority. Same with Mega Manectric. It can be durable with Intimidate for sure, but it's not something that's taking too many hits.
Yeah, I have
Um,
to agree. Having using Mega Man Electric right now in
yeah.
GBC, I have to
With
agree.
Rocks up, Rocks is something you're gonna want on his team. With how frail his team is, Alakazam, Sash, Alakazam with Magic Guard, it's not gonna make a difference. That's why you need the priority. That's what weakens that. But Arcanine, Aerodactyl, because Rock doesn't resist Rock apparently, so
No, it does
Aerodactyl's
not.
taking 25. Cryogonal is his hazard removal. Aerodactyl can be his hazard removal. Both weak to rocks.
Yeah,
So right there, that's something you're gonna prioritize against him is rocks.
yeah,
Another thing you're gonna prioritize against him is a rock type, in my
yeah,
opinion,
yeah.
because the only thing that's switching into rock moves is now the Celebi can, but the
Even
Mudsdale,
then, grass doesn't resist rock.
yeah, and like a coverage move, like you know what I mean. So like that Mudsdale is gonna be very important to his team going forward, being the
Yeah,
only thing that really resists rock.
yeah. I have to
Not many
say,
people draft offensive rock Pokemon, but for someone like me with a Lycanroc Dusk, like Mudsdale is going to be like a key to his team.
yeah.
That
And
being
Mudsdale gets worn down quickly too
yeah,
because it just doesn't have recovery.
yeah, and people can take advantage. Like stamina is good, but people take advantage of it, and it doesn't matter how many times they'll hit it. They know that their check's got to be special.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah, like
it's
they know that like if you're walled by a Mudsdale, it's your fault. Like
yeah,
you fucked up. Like that's that simple.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's the thing. With how fast his team is,
that being said,
there's just like no bulk
yeah.
outside of Mudsdale, Celesteela, Weezing.
That being said, Greninja, Alakazam, Aerodactyl, Mega Manectric, Celesteela, and I guess Celebi now as an offensive core was not the easiest to prep for.
Oh, I have to imagine.
Yeah,
Like, just
it's not
having
fun.
so
Like I'm gonna
much.
say this now, if Josh somehow watches this, modest modest Celesteela, Autotomize or not, but it's a especially offensive Celesteela with EQ, Fire Blast, Heavy Slam, and then I don't know what your fourth coverage move is probably going to be like an electric type. It wrecks my team. Like Celesteela is going to be a big threat to a lot of teams. It's why it should
Oh,
be a
absolutely.
top five pick.
It should be top five, and it fell to
It's
sixth
yeah,
round.
yeah, because like you'd think I'd have a good switch in Skarmory to deal with it, but Fire Blast wrecks me. You'd think Blastoise would be a good switch, and that probably is one of my better switches, but Celesteela with Shockwave, I can't even deal much damage to it with a Blastoise. I could scald it, I guess. But Celesteela, I think, is winning that 1v1, especially with Leech Seed.
Yeah,
It may run into like a four move syndrome where it doesn't know really what it wants to put. But overall, it's going to be a big like that. Celesteela and Mudsdale will be two big pieces of his team.
yeah, that's true.
I do like the Weezing pickup, especially for a team like mine that doesn't have a Psychic type.
Yeah,
I can't deal with it the best. I have found a way to get to deal with it, but again, not it's not the greatest. But yeah, overall, like he if he like you said, it's gonna come into the same thing with Turner. It's will he be able to be comfortable enough with his team to use it?
yeah, properly. I think if he just if he learns some, like, if he just figures out like I want to say basic mechanics. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's really if
basic
he
to
just
moderate.
knows that, like, yeah, yeah, I can see that. Like, if he knows that, like, hey, I should run Volt Switch on my, like, if he thinks that he can get away with only running Thunderbolt on Mega Manectric, or not running U-turn on Greninja,
Or
like,
not running Magic Guard and Alakazam.
yeah, that stuff like that, or like, I mean, I guess Intimidate and Flashfire Arcanines, whatever, or like figuring out that if his opponent has a bulky water, then he's gonna want he's gonna want to run Freeze Dry on his Cryogonal instead of Ice Beam, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Like, as long as he just figures that stuff out, I'm sure he can piece together some wins, like
hmm
figure out what on his team is supposed to do what for him, and then hopefully string together some wins.
I'll
But
say
yeah,
this: like if he brings Greninja, Alakazam, Mega Manectric, Celesteela to every single match, he's picking up at least one win.
that's true. I'm like, just all those combined, there's no way one team is just like able to completely
Yeah.
deal with it.
Don't even hide it. Sash, Magic Guard, Alakazam, Mega Manectric, Celesteela, make it offensive, make it your Z captain, Autotomize and just blow something back.
Oh
And
yes,
then
I think
Greninja with
this.
like make it physical Greninja, banded Greninja. Like you're killing some team.
Yeah, we actually forgot to look at the Z potential for this team. Um, so yeah, Celestial Z captain I think is pretty obvious. Like it's one of the
Yeah,
best Z users in the game. Um, I think because it's Greninja's Battle Bond, I think it's gonna be like
useful.
that's
Yeah,
just gonna be a nuke. Do not sleep on Z Aerodactyl. I'm not gonna lie. I was planning on drafting Aerodactyl, and it was gonna be one of my Z users. Like
Sky Attack
super,
is one, isn't it?
supersonic sky strike coming from sky attack instead of fly is a huge power difference, and
Yeah,
we already know how good the Z flying move is.
I'd say yeah, Greninja, Aerodactyl, and Celesteela. And the Greninja, see, the thing with those Z users is that both Greninja and Celesteela are going to use their Z potential to kill something.
Yeah,
Once
for
they
sure.
kill something, they get either the Beast Boost or the Battle Bond. And
Yeah,
that's not something that's going to be fun to deal with.
yeah,
The only thing is you can deal with Battle Bond Greninja with Mach Punch. You can't really deal with a Beast Boosting Celesteela, especially after an Autotomize.
yeah, for sure. All right. So, you want to move on to
Yeah.
Zach then?
Okay, another person that's very new to the league, again, hasn't played since like Gen 3. I'm pretty sure like Fire Red Leaf Green was the last game he's played.
Did you help him draft at all,
No.
or no?
I was helping him out, but like he didn't really know anything until we got to your house. I was supposed to show up, or we were supposed to show up at 6 and help him out. I did send him videos, and he's a very intellectual person. He's someone that wants to win and hates losing, and is going to study this game until he figures out how to win. So he's gonna definitely be someone that you want to
Well,
watch out for.
all right. I can
But
buy
that
that.
being said, we had a mock battle, and he brought Future Sight Alakazam. He brought all dragon moves on his Dragonite. So like he is missing some mechanics, but these are things that he can easily learn.
Yeah, those are really only things that experience can teach you.
Yeah. But going
Uh,
into that, you can start. Just
uh,
because I kind of did help him during the draft. He was like showing me a mon or two, and I'm like, yeah, that's good, that's good.
okay, so off the bat, like he already has the Gen 5 Volt Turn Wombo combo thing with Scissor and Rotom Wash, and like that already speaks to me on like an emotional level because I love me some Volt Turn, and he
Hmm.
has like arguably two of the best Volt Turners in the game.
Bulky. From what I learned last year, is don't sleep on bulky Boltern.
Oh, true, yeah,
Like
for sure.
my team would have loved some bulky Volturn, and what I had my slowest Volturner was Uxie at like 95 speed, and it was bulky, but it was 95 speed.
Yeah, that's true. Um, the Steel types that are gonna want to try and Wall Scissor are just trapped by Doug Trio, which is
Yeah.
good. Um, and then same thing with actually he doesn't really have an electric weakness other than that Tentacruel. Like I was gonna say, unless yeah, that's really it. I was gonna say like Dugtree also traps the electric types, but like he doesn't
But
really need the electric types trapped.
no, but like he's like Dugtrio isn't someone you want to switch into Volturn or Volt Switch, but it's something that people aren't going to want to Volt Switch on. Because
Oh
if you have a Mega Manetric and you click Volt Switch on a Sash Dougie, you're done. Like it, that's it.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
And not all Pokemon have the luxury of being as fast as Mega Manetric.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, he has something that's faster in the Mega Alakazam, and I think that's like one of the
Oh, I just meant from a trapping standpoint, but yeah, Mega
yeah, I
Alakazam
guess.
is like
Um,
150.
yeah, like Alakazam, um, Zach. If you watch this and you know these things by now, run substitute on your Mega Alakazam a lot. You're gonna want to scout for some sucker punches and be very careful with it because people are going to try to pursue trap it. Um, but yeah, uh, a few like cons. I get they do different things. I don't really know how I like both Rotom and Tentacruel on the same team. I guess like they actually have different weaknesses just because of the typing.
Yeah,
Um, other than that, I get that he wanted a fairy and like um, and I think at the time the only thing he needed was a tier 5.
yeah, yeah. That was his last pick. And you can't
Was it?
bash him on a
No,
tier
wait,
5,
yeah.
yeah.
I guess, yeah. It was Clefairy Rhydon were his last two picks.
Yeah. He
I
even went
mean,
to me and was like, now I'll have to do is pick my tier 4 and 5s. And, like, he's the guy that if he could, his team would be all tier 1.
oh,
Like,
well, yeah, everyone's
no,
team
but
would
you know
be
what I mean?
tier
Like,
one.
and it wouldn't just be tier 1, it'd just be, like, it'd be OP shit that, like, he could have so much fun using.
He likes the broken stuff.
Yeah. And
That's
that's
funny
why,
because
like,
I consider myself to be Mr. Fair Guy.
I feel like he's gonna have a lot of fun with Mega Alakazam for that reason, just in Doug Trio. Like if like seeing the faces of people that get like lose their important mon because they got trapped, or
Yeah, for
having
sure.
having something that's so powerful that you just kind of like click a button and then something falls.
Yeah. Um, I like Blaziken. Again, I think it's another sleep. Even if it's only Blaze, I think it's still a sleeper, low tier fire type.
I feel like people are like, oh, it's only Blaze, and then they're like, okay, then there's a reason it's in a low
Yeah.
tier.
No, yeah, like uh, seeing that I just picked it up in GPC, like its mixed potential is very good, and I mean, mixed wall breakers are all, or like mixed sweepers are always going to be good in
Hmm.
draft format. There's just no way around that. Um, but yeah, so like with special sweeping and breaking from Mega Alakazam, combined with like chip chip and arguably bulky breaking with the scissor and the Rotom Wash,
Yeah,
and then like combine that with like the setup potential that his Dragonite has, I think is gonna be some pretty scary offense for
yeah.
his team. Um,
Especially
I'm
for
not.
teams trying to like Magnezone trap his scissor, and then next thing you know, he U-turned on your switch and Doug Truisen.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and yeah, because actually Zach's in the same division as or no, he's
Yeah,
not in the same division.
Zach's
He's
in the
not in the same.
same division as Dan, who's
Oh
got
shoot, with
Magneton,
the
and he's in the
Magneton,
same conference
says
as
Sean
Sean.
who has
Yeah.
Magnezone. So yeah, that's a thing. I'm not really sure how I like. I'm just looking at like the tier threes and then the tier four after that with the Tentacruel, Roserade, and Blaziken. I mean, you don't want to switch Mega Alakazam in on too many hits in general. And then I guess he has the Sableye still, but
Yeah.
at the same time, a lot of Psychic types get at least Dazzling Gleam coverage.
Yeah. What I want to say here is looking at his team now. Um, I don't think like I sent him a photo of or showed him my list of what you want on a team. And he's been trying to check it off, and he did start at the top. So it's kind of my fault that I put this at the bottom. But the Fire, Water, Grass, Dragon, Steel, Fairy Core. Um, I wouldn't like normally in a draft one of the two are pretty good, like strong, and the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
one
yeah.
other one's average or hopefully good. But if it's average, it's average.
Yeah,
Tentacruel, Roserade, Blaziken looks like more of an average one. Like there's no real
yeah.
threat. And then you go to
Unless
his
unless you count Rotom as like the water type, but I guess it's kind of
even
an
with
accidental
Rotom,
term.
it's like it's mid tier. I'd say out of like a 1 to 5, it's like a 3.5,
Yeah, I
3.
know what you mean. I know what you mean.
And then then you just think, okay, then he's got the good Fairy, Dragon, Steel core. Scizor, really good Steel. Dragonite, really good Dragon. But the fact that Clefairy is the fairy he was able to pick up, it was like he was piecing together, trying to get the core. But what happened was he took like two from each of them, and then realized, oh, I gotta like fill the role.
Yeah, I guess. Um,
And no fault
uh,
is this of his. Like he doesn't
yeah, he
know.
just didn't. Yeah, like
Yeah,
he's new, and then like it was just he needed a tier five, and
yeah.
I don't know if Clefairy was the only fairy option in tier
It was
five.
probably one the better
It was
fairy
probably
option.
one of the better ones, I have to
I'm sure
say.
Granbull was there. I mean, that wouldn't have been bad.
I want to say we moved Granbull up, but let
Oh,
me check.
okay.
Uh, nope. Hang on. No, Granbull's in tier five.
Okay, maybe he makes that
Okay.
drop.
Yeah, I would. We should probably suggest that to him. That's a much better fairy than
Yeah.
Clefairy is. That we can thank Sean for suggesting this Unmon to him.
Yeah.
Like Clefairy is an Unmon. I don't like it too much, and yeah.
I like Clefable. My plan for season 2 was to draft Clefable and destroy
I
everyone. But
I
then
personally,
Sean picked it up season 1. I was
yeah,
so
I
mad because like the second
personally,
he picked it up, I was like, I'm not using this. I don't want to use something. I don't want to use someone's seconds.
yeah, you you want to draft the things that no one else drafts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even like Clefable that much. But yeah, we'll talk about that whenever,
Mhm.
like whatever. Rotom is going to be extremely annoying to deal with. Look at how
It's
many he has 4 times resistant grass on his team. He has a Scissor, a Roserade, and a Dragonite. Granted, you don't always want to switch Dragonite in onto attacks, but like you're going to be switching Roserade and Scissorin on grass attacks for days.
And the potential for Roserade to set up with hazards on a
Oh
grass.
yeah, set up hazard. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like Rotom is going to be very difficult, like so annoying for teams
And
to deal with.
not many grass types have either fire coverage or Will-O-Wisp coverage. So other than like Gorgeist and stuff like that, and they're going to be threatened
Yeah,
out by the U-turn. So
yeah,
that
for sure.
gives Scizor so much potential to sweep.
Yeah, for sure. As far as his Z users go, I think he's kind of pigeonholed into only three. I think Dragonite and Blaziken have to be there because they're just really good.
Hmm.
And then I think he has to make Roserade his Z captain just because of the Z sleep powder. And
That's an
then
option.
yeah, and then like
I
obviously,
do like Doug Trio as a Z user though. As someone who's
eh,
faced it, when Sean's used it, it wins matches. Being it's because Doug Trio lacks some power, so the option to be able to trap something and be able to kill it with like
I
his
guess
Supersonic Sky Strike, being able to kill like a fighting type or something like that, it could be very useful, and I could see Zach having a lot of fun with that. So I think he might. I can definitely see the Dragonite. And would you say it was Dragonite Blaziken?
Dragonite, Blaziken, Roserade
Yeah, I could see Doug Trio, Dragonite, Blaziken.
over the Roserade.
Or yeah, I just think it's either gonna be Roserade or Blaziken, just because he's gonna have. I think Zach, his playstyle is gonna have so much fun with Z Doug Trio,
I guess, yeah.
and you could use Z Memento too, and he's gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Oh, true. I forgot Doug Trio got Z Memento.
I just remembered right now. That's why I wing
Oh,
it.
so okay, yeah, then yeah, probably Doug Trio will be the Z captain then. And then yeah, Dragonite definitely gets it, and then I guess it's up to personal preference whether he wants Blaziken or Roserade.
Yeah.
I would personally go towards Blaziken, but
Yeah, if you're not going Z Captain, then Blaziken. If you're going Z Captain, then Roserade. But Doug
yeah,
Trio being the
but
Z
if
Captain,
yeah, I completely forgot Doug Trio got Memento. So yeah, that definitely should be the Z captain then.
yeah.
All right, shall we move on to
To
Liam?
Necrozma.
Yeah, the team with Necrozma.
He's in
So
our division, so we faced him
oh yeah,
twice.
yeah. So yeah, Liam is in our
Um,
division.
I'll go from the start. Nian
Yeah,
Shao is something that I don't want to face. Necrozma, something I don't want to face. Salazzle, he stole from me, so I will end him in both of our matches. And if we play in the playoffs, I will end you there too, for revenge for stealing my Salazzle. Jirachi is something I don't want to face. Zoroark's not something I want to face. Shedinja is something I don't want to face. Lowell Nine Chills is something I don't want to face, and Noivern I don't want to be crit Dracoed again. So he's got pretty much his whole team is I don't want to face it. Other than Alolan Executor, which is it's okay, it's kind of a cool Pokemon.
I think it's a good budget Pokemon.
I like it. It's something I like. It's
Yeah,
something
like
I would draft.
everyone needs to get something in tier 5.
Yeah.
And I think Alolan Exeggutor is a sleeper.
Yeah. It's a good grass type. It's a dragon type. It's only tier 5 because Ice Shard weakness, in my opinion, and it's
Yeah.
slow speed, and it doesn't get Trick Room
Yeah.
access. I don't think.
Yeah.
Wait, I can
yes,
no,
yes,
because
it does. Yes, it does.
it does. Okay,
Yeah. Yes, it
yeah,
does.
because a normal Executor does. So I'm pretty sure a Alolan Executor would.
Yeah. Ager, I've used it in the WB.
Yeah.
Match.
I just wasn't sure if something else Trick Roomed or if it was a Alolan Executor. But yeah, so his whole team are things
Well,
that I don't want to face.
Necrozma. Necrozma definitely gets Trick Room.
Yeah. But his whole team are things I don't want to face, and I don't want to face them for good reasons because they all have stupid things that are associated with them. So that's
Yeah.
that's pretty much my opinion.
So, starting with the good things, he has two of possibly the best setup Pokemon in the game in Necrozma and Mega Gallade. First off, Mega Gallade, sleeper Mega for our league. This is the first time it's ever been drafted, and Mega Gallade is super good. More so in the hands of like intricate builders where they'll EV Gallade to like live specific stuff. But yeah, regardless, Necrozma, Mega Gallade, two of the best setup Pokemon in the game, and he also drafted Alolan Ninetales for Aurora Veil, which, like, one of the biggest upsides to that is drafting it to help your Pokemon set up. So props to him for that. Salazzle, like on top of his setup offense, he has immediate offense in both the Salazzle, the Noivern, and even the Jirachi and or no, sorry, the Salazzle, the Mienshao, and to an extent the Noivern and the Jirachi. And then the Zoroark, I think, is another sleeper Pokemon. Being able, I think a key thing about the Zoroark is knowing what you need to disguise it as you want to so like if you want to like you want to build it to lure in checks to your other Pokemon. So if you want to lure in a check to his Salazzle, let's say, so if he ever plays against Josh, I don't know if he does, and he wants to lure in the Mudsdale. I don't know if Zoroark gets anything to hit Mudsdale. I'm just saying this like off the top of my head. You basically you just want to bait in the Mudsdale and
Yeah.
kill it with the Zoroark because your opponent thinks he's
Or
going to
like,
hit Salazzle.
or like you disguise your Pokemon as Mienshao, baiting in those bulky psychic types, only to hit it with a Dark Pulse.
Yeah, exactly. Like stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's why I hate Zoroark, is because
Yeah.
it's something that it just adds another level. Like, first of all, you're trying to figure out what sets everything is,
And then
if
you
that
have
makes
to
sense.
double
Now
guess
now you have to
if
worry
it's
is
if it's even the Pokemon in front.
yeah, because
Um,
in the Little Cup League, in our off season, Sean had Zorua, and like he switched in like a Salandit on my Frillish, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't Salandit. Or like when he checked it with that, I'm like, yeah, I'm switching it to my Zorua check,
yeah.
and like I was able to figure it out. But like it's just something that you have to keep in the back of your head, like.
Yeah. A key part of Zoroark's success is what you disguise it as. Like
Yeah.
there's no two ways around it.
And honestly, I doubt Shedinja gets brought to matches.
Yeah.
If he does, it's
That's
for
kind
fun.
of an unmon. Because like one of the big cons I have about Liam's team is that he has 3 psychic types on his team.
Yeah, Necrozma's got Prism Scale or Prism Armor, so it doesn't do as much. But
Yeah, but like I can definitely see Ghost Spam still being a problem,
mhm.
especially when like yes he has a Chansey, but Chansey is just pure setup fodder. Like,
Yeah,
it's pure setup fodder. And then like on the same token, like Dark Spam is just as good against him.
yeah,
Even though he has because like his Dark Resists are not bulky in the slightest.
no, his
Like,
Dark Resists are Mienshao, and
Mienshao, Zoroark, Alola Ninetales, and
yeah,
like it just takes basically a coverage move to take out any of those.
yeah,
He has good speed tiers. I'll give him that.
some fast Pokemon, yeah,
Yeah, he has like he tops off at Noivern, but then like goes into Salazzle, and then after
that's
that,
why I wanted Salazzle. It was gonna be
Alola
my speed
yeah.
tier thing. And, like Noivern, Salazzle, Mienshao is pretty high at 105. I think Zoroark I think is 105. Ninetales is like 108 or 109.
Yeah,
Jirachi's 100. I know
Yeah,
that,
Megalade's
and
110.
Megalade's 110. So he's looking like he might have too fast of a team.
Yeah, I actually like.
But he's got trick room options, so it's like he has a way to deal with
He has
bulkier
like,
teams.
Yeah, he has like 2 legitimate Trick Room sweepers.
Yeah.
So I guess that's fine.
So if you try to outbeat
yeah,
him with
I don't-
speed, like you try to win a speed control match, and then he goes trick room on you, you saw what happened with Lars against
Yeah,
Joel.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. He has no water type on his team. I'm just noticing this now.
I don't see a ground. Does he have a ground type?
It doesn't look
No.
like it. No.
So like momentum might be a thing he worries about, just because people might be able to. Although he doesn't have a water Pokemon that you're going to bring electric types to, anyways.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
No.
Like if you get Volt Switch, like seeing that he has no water or ground type, that promotes you to bring your electric type just to get Volt Switch. Like
Yeah.
you literally bring it in just to pressure Volt Switch.
Yeah.
See what he's gonna do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this team. It's clearly like it's. I feel like it's like my GPC team almost. Like it's supposed to be offensive and then just has like a Chansey.
Oh.
Like just
Yeah.
straight up. Like my team's like it's supposed to be offensive, but then there's a random Registeel, Uxie, and Toxapex in it.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean I guess Necrozma can be defensive as well.
See,
That's
like,
the thing. Like he has so much offense that he can definitely afford to run defensive Necrozma.
Yeah. and so much
Um,
psychic offense too. Or I could
Yeah,
run Jirachi. Like if I saw a team with Necrozma and Jirachi, you don't know which one's the. You don't know if it's a scarf sweeping Jirachi with flinch hacks or if
yeah, for
it's
sure.
a setup Necrozma.
Yeah, true. Like, if he brings both of those, like, it's a definite question of which one
Yeah,
fits it.
if you see the Alolan Executor, you might think, oh, maybe the Necrozma is more of a bulky Trick Room set, and then the Jirachi's a faster set. But yeah, I don't know if Jirachi gets Trick Room. It might. Um,
Yes, it does. Yes, it
oh,
does.
okay, so now fuck that. You don't know what's what.
Yeah, but
Um,
like Jirachi's not a good. It's too naturally fast to be a good
no,
Trick
but
Room.
having Trick Room, it can use Trick
Oh,
Room, and then
like
it'll be
just to set it.
it can set Trick Room, and then it'll be faster than the Pokemon, so it can get a slow U turn off. If that makes
I
sense,
guess.
into an Alolan Executor. So there's potential with it for sure. But
As far as
I just see so many things that are it's like those gimmick hard Pokemon to face that I just hate. Like at least 7 of these Pokemon are things I don't want to fight.
I guess I can see that.
Like if I saw it on a ladder, I'd be mad. I'd be like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me! I have to deal with this Scarf Jirachi flinch axe." Or you got to be kidding me! Like I have to deal with this bulky piece of shit.
The Necrozma, yeah. Or
Yeah,
no, the Chansey. What am I
both.
saying?
It's both really.
So as far as the Z users go, he has actually a lot of potential.
Hmm.
I definitely see Necrozma getting one because I
Yeah,
think Necrozma is a really good Z user. And then past that, it's totally up to him. Like
yeah.
what he prefers.
Salazzle, Manshao
Salazzle's a
could
good
benefit
one.
from choice items more, but
Yeah,
Alolan Executor is one with the
yes,
Trick Room,
definitely. Zoroark, I think,
Jirachi,
is the same
Zoroark.
user. Yeah. So I think he definitely gives probably Z Captain to Necrozma just because its move pool is really
Yeah.
large. And
Also
then
with
past that,
Zoroark, being a Z user, you could hide specific what Pokemon you are. You know what I
what
mean?
do you,
Like
not
if you throw off some sort of like Iron Head, you're like, oh, it's not a Zoroark. But if you throw off
Oh,
A Z Steel,
then
um,
it could still be. I
then you
see.
could be like it could be Zoroark. So you're like, oh, you look through its move pool and like
Well, not
it
not
does get
really,
Flash
only
Cannon.
because like not really, only because if you make Zoroark a Z user and he disguises it as something that's not a Z user on his team, then that's kind of like red light flashing.
What do you mean?
Like if he decides that Zoroark's gonna be a Z user, but Alolan Ninetales isn't, and he disguises his Zoroark as an Alolan Ninetales and uses a Z move, like that's pretty much like, hey, this is a Zoroark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it'd be too late.
I, I
Oh,
guess.
then I guess I kind of yeah I know you mean now because
Okay.
it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't hide the fact that the Zoroark.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, those are really the only thoughts I have on Liam's team. Do you
Mm-hmm.
want to move on?
Yep. To Mark and the Funky
Hey,
Bunch.
one of the other admins in the league.
Yeah.
Mark is in our conference, not in our division.
As you can
Uh,
see, he's got Slowbro and Darmanitan on this team.
he doesn't have Slowbro.
No.
Oh wait, I'm an idiot. Yeah, yeah, two of his favorite Pokemon. But
Yeah.
Mark, we can also name Mark's team everything that Brandon has ever used ever, pretty much. Because like, I think honestly the only thing I've never used in format melodic. I mean, I'm about to
Melodic
use a Mega Pinsir.
Pinsir. You're using a Mega Pinsir,
Cam-
but
yeah, Camel, Hitmonlee, Diggersby. Everything else I have had on my team at one point or another.
yeah.
In fact, Whimsicott, Kyurem, and Haxorus were all on my team from last year.
Oh, just
Or
wait till we
from
get
last
to your
season.
team, Mister Copy My Season 2 team.
Look, look. Anyways,
But we'll say Mark's.
yeah,
The fact that Coco dropped to him is surprising.
yeah, because Coco is definitely another top 5 Pokemon.
Yeah. I don't agree with it being top 5. I agree with it being a top 10. And technically, Mark had the 11th pick. But I expect it to be like a 7th or 8th round pick.
Dude, Coco is so good. Like it's so good because it's so reliable, really.
Yeah, but my disagreement with it, I mean, it gets both U-turn and Volt Switch. I like that, but I just don't like putting too many eggs in too many points in your electric bucket. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but like he also gets a top tier fairy on top of that as well.
Yeah, but his fairy options are limited. It's just Dazzling Gleam.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I mean, Nature's Madness is something not to sleep on.
Yeah.
Like, it's Nature's Madness is like the one thing that like
Like
makes steel types a straight stop to this.
100%. If I had the option to draft Tapu Koko, I probably would. I love fast electric types. I love Pokemon that fill what Koko's role is. But like you could draft some other Pokemon that yeah they don't feel as good a role of it, but like I don't know. Like I just feel like fast electric type. I don't know.
I think we
Although I have faced one in season 2 when you had it, and it definitely was not an easy thing to deal with.
no, like Coco is definitely a top tier threat when when prepping for it. It
Unless you
yeah,
roost on the earthquake, but
look, that was a misplay on my part. That wasn't even like that. There's no question about it. That was just a straight up misplay. I even told myself in prep not to do that, and I still did it. But yeah, we've had enough Coco debate because like a million people on the internet have had that debate. As
oh
far as the
okay,
rest of his team, uh, he got his desired defensive core
yeah,
of just fatness of Crest, Registeel, and Melodic.
yeah,
Um, yeah, he like I get it. I still think, and he's lucky I didn't get it. I still think Mega Absol rips through this wall core, or really any dark type that has good coverage.
Yo, Vikavolt rips through this too.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm so mad I had to drop it. But
Um,
if I'm gonna point one thing out, and it's more just off Mark's playstyle, this team's very linear.
yeah, Mark likes linear things.
No, Mark likes fun stuff. He told me one of his main downside, like one of the main things he hated about season 2 was he drafted a team he couldn't be spicy with, and I don't see many options for him to be spicy.
He is a Whimsicott. He has enough. And at the same time, like Mark, again, opinions, but Mark, I think, tries to dabble in the spice too much, and I think this is going to be a reality check for him when he looks that Tapu Koko. All you really need for every match is like Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Volt Switch, or U-turn, depending on which one you want, and then like maybe Nature's Madness or whatever coverage move you want. Like
Yeah,
that's all you need for Koko to be good.
and he's gonna go some like
Same thing with Haxorus. Like Haxorus, all you needed to be really good is like Dragon Dance, and then like Dragon Stab, whatever you want, Dragon Claw, Outrage,
yeah,
whatever, Earthquake, Poison Jab, and then Z, whichever one you want, and then like on the off chance, sometimes you run Scarf, sometimes you run Band.
yeah,
But like those are all things, and even the Crest, like the Crest, defensively, it's just gonna be like Moonlight, Calm Mind, Psychic, and then either Moonblast or Ice Beam,
yeah,
whichever one he wants. Like stuff like that. Like you don't need to be spicy for your Pokemon to be good.
yeah,
You just need your Pokemon to be good for them to be good.
yeah. Like
Like
him
to
trying
this,
to be spicy is gonna actually hurt him.
yeah, like with this team, like there's not a lot of room for like quote unquote spice. The only one I could see is like Whimsicott.
And Kyurem, I guess Kyurem is it can be physical and special. It's I
Yeah,
don't know how
Kyurem
it doesn't really have many setup
no,
options,
Kyurem has like almost no setup options.
but
I
it's
don't know
it's
if
got
it's
enough
home farm.
it's got enough utility that it can be multiple things.
Yeah, like Kyurem is a very good mixed move pool.
Yeah,
I can definitely
Pinsir very linear.
see
Like
that coming.
you're only gonna Moxie Scarf it. I don't see
Yeah,
why you
but
would
like
do anything else. He doesn't have like webs to
no, that's true.
abuse.
No, that's true. But like at the same time, like
Tier 5, I mean.
yeah, tier 5, and I think Pinsir's a sleeper one. I think like if a team just doesn't prepare for Pinsir, it's gonna wreck. It's gonna wreck that match.
Yeah.
Camel. I know Mark has been sold on Camel for a long time.
If it's his only fire type and it's his only like, I just don't like.
I don't personally like Camel too much, but I know Mark really does.
Yeah. It's gonna be the same
And
thing with
again,
Mega Bombus now.
yeah, I mean,
I was so sold on it, but like you're gonna get hit by an HP water and it's just gonna drop.
to be fair, he like I mean, if they're running HP Water specifically for the Camel, he has very good switch. Like, I mean, his wall, like he has a Melodic, and then like even the Registry on the Crest are gonna be fine taking HP Water.
No, but like, you know what I mean?
It
Like,
isn't.
I have like let's say my Shaman uses Seed Flare, and he's like, okay, my resist is going to be the Camel. If I have HP water, it just falls.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't really think you wanna, like, you never want to run Camel as you're switching to anything because like it's too slow. It's
Yeah.
too slow and not bulky enough. It's a
Oh,
bulky
okay, yeah.
offense. It's a bulky offense Pokemon. It's not a Registeel. Like Registeel, when you switch into things, you know it's slow, but it has enough bulk to live 2 hits.
Yeah.
Camel doesn't always.
If he does get some crest momentum, like Trick Room, and get Camel in somehow, then
Yeah, that's the
I feel
thing.
like I feel like Camel has the stab to rip through teams. I just I'd be personally I'd be surprised if Mark brings it to 3 games. I'd be even more surprised if it's able to pick up like 4 or 5 kills. I'd say if a mon starts hitting like 4 or 5 kills, then they've been like offensively they've been putting in a bit of work.
Yeah, that's true. I'll agree to that. But yeah, his plan from the start really worked out. Like, I mean, he got
Yeah,
the three Pokemon Wall Core and then just straight offense after that.
I will say that
He's
he's got a lot of good threats. He's got the core he wants. I feel like if he's comfortable with this team and likes it, he will be a threat. And especially things like Diggersby and Hitmonlee, they're not things I like to face. They're
Oh, true.
they're
Yeah,
raw power.
like his speed tiers go like it's Coco 130. That's obvious. A good drop to Whimsicott at 116, but then after that it goes to Kyurem, which is a pretty big speed drop.
95,
But at
isn't
the
it?
same time, Kyurem's 95.
Yeah,
Or no, sorry. Actually, it goes to Haxor's, which is 97. I'm a dummy.
that's not
Um,
even that much better. But
no, but like at the same time though, like he still has good speed control. Like he has Trick
mm-hmm.
Room on Crest, and then he also has
Unburden him on, yeah,
which he can pair with a terrain.
which we can
So
thank
like,
Sean for giving him.
yeah, for giving that advice. But yeah, and then Diggersby, still a little salty that he took it when I could have had it, but I mean, I'm not gonna put too much hate on him for that. The Dragon Spam of Haxorus and Kyurem is really good. Like again, the same thing that I went over with Squazen's team. Dragon Spam is something like people are afraid to draft, but it actually ends up being very good. Yeah, I really like his team.
Yeah, like it's
it
not
kind
going to be a team I'm going to like to face, and I feel like if it's a team I don't like to face, that they did something right.
I will say, it kind of looks like his hazard removal is a little lacking.
It's Whimsicott, isn't it?
Like it's
Yeah, I'll hit him on Lee.
but like I guess for an offensive team like his, like they're like having offensive spinners and defoggers is good for an offensive team. But like again, I have to say this kind of looks like it's the same thing with Liam. It kind of just looks like my GPC team with like offense and then just some random bulk thrown in there.
Except I feel like this is the opposite. It's bulk with random offense.
I mean, I guess like he has more of a bulky offense style than my
Yeah,
GPC team does.
and he's got a team that's not going to be easy to. It's going to be a team that's not easy to break through, but it's also a team that's not the best at breaking through other teams. Like a lot of his offensive threats are those Pokemon that only do like the 75-80% when you need that 100.
Yeah, that's
So like the Pokemon that can't Oko, they 2-hit kill.
yeah.
Like Gengar is a big example of that. It's like, and that's why it's kind of like it needs like hazard support and stuff like that because you need to be able to turn 2-hit kills into 1-hit kills.
Yeah,
And he doesn't really have the hazard support to do it.
yeah, not really. Like his rocker.
Diggersby is not someone you want to be your main
Yeah,
spiker.
yeah, like Diggersby. Diggersby gets spikes, and then actually past that, yeah, it's just Pinsir gets rocks, and then Camel gets rocks. And,
Pinsir's
like,
not going to be a rocker
yeah.
unless it's a bulky thing to switch into ground types. Like I could see Pinsir being a Zygarde switching.
Yeah, that I could see that. Pinsir has a good defense stat actually. So yeah, his hazard game could use a little stepping up.
I feel
mean,
like he's bringing Registeel to a lot of matches though.
Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. I forgot he had the Registeel. Yeah, he okay. So he has a reliable rocker in Registeel.
Yeah.
But yeah, that like you said, I do think Registeel's going to come to like one too many
Yeah.
matches just because he needs rocks.
And that's the issue
I
that's the issue of why I dropped stuff on my team is because I had that same
Yeah,
realization.
that's why I needed to make some changes too. And even
Yeah.
then, I'm still not even sure about my team.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Let's move to the Trubish that is
Well,
Tilsonburg.
I will want to say.
Oh, okay, one more
that,
thing?
like, his Z move choices were abundant, but I do think he made the right choices.
Yeah. Honestly,
like, I mean,
Diggersby. I don't see Diggersby being a good It can be a good Z user, but like,
You just it doesn't matter that it doesn't get good coverage. It just matters that you have the nuke.
yeah.
Like that's the reason to Z Diggersby. I know
I'd
you.
probably say Diggersby over Haxorus because Haxorus benefits more. Actually, no, D Dance Haxorus would love
Yeah,
Z.
dude. Yeah,
Never
you
mind.
definitely. Yeah, no. Z Hackers is a threat.
But
And
would
then
would Kyurem not be a better Z alternate than Coco?
it depends because like at that point, like you already have the Dragon Z from Haxorus. Really, I think.
True, I guess.
And
Yeah,
then like
it
and
spreads
then
it
like
out.
its other options are really like
Because like,
Ground Z from Earth Power or
yeah,
Steel Z from Flash Cannon, which you're already getting from Haxorus from Iron Tail and Earthquake. So really, the only niche it provides is Sub-Zero Slammer, which is a good Z move, but like having you definitely want an Electric Z move. I think an Electric plus, and then you also get the Fairy on top of that.
hmm
I think Coco's a better choice. And one last thing before we move on, Mark, don't don't shy away from using defensive Kyurem, especially when you already have a good offensive dragon on your team.
yeah.
Defensive Kyurem can definitely put in a lot of work.
Joey Law, he got pretty much swept by MV with an AV
Yeah,
Kyurem,
AV Kyurem. But
and
yeah,
he rage quit. He was like, I can't break this Kyurem. Like, fuck this.
he literally quit. But yeah, defensive slash bulky Kyurem, do not shy away from that.
Yeah,
But yeah, we can move on to
yeah.
Alex's team and
The Trubish that is Tilsonberg.
Do you want to hit this one up first?
I don't know. I think you should.
Well,
Well, I'm gonna start with he. You're not gonna like his team first off because he drafted Mega Beedrill, which led Dan to draft Mega Absol,
which sniped me.
which sniped you.
Yeah. Um, I mean, snipes are snipes. They're gonna
They're
happen.
gonna have
I
him.
mean, like, I had my one moment during the draft. Like, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Um, the Heatran pick, as an experienced Heatran player, um, I I only drafted Heatran in first round because like I don't like risking snipes, so that's why I just take it. I take things whenever I want to take them,
Yeah.
which like when you look at like even my team this year and when I drafted them, like it's very apparent that I don't really care when I draft Pokemon. Like I just if I want them, I take them if
Yeah.
they're still there. Um, but yeah, like Heatran, I don't know about the first round pick, especially not when his second pick is Stakataka, because having
I was gonna say that this team is very electric ground weak. Heatran, Stakataka, Mega Beedrill, Doublade. If it's Mold Breaker.